Every year at Penn, we have employees that are injured while performing their work duties. In most cases, injuries can be prevented if we learn to recognize risk. Recognizing risk is the art of identifying actions or conditions that can result in an injury or loss of some kind. It is a learned skill. With some practice, can yield significant benefits in terms of a safer workplace and reduced injuries to you and your fellow workers at Penn. Safety is a team sport, and it requires everyone's effort to reduce risk to the lowest possible level. Let's look at some examples of injuries waiting to happen at Penn. We have many tools we use in the everyday function of our job, from pallet jacks, load bars, to hand trucks, just to name a few. When you use a tool, put it back for the next employee to use. Remember, every tool in its place and tools in a truck must be secured. Empty pallets are necessary and useful in our work. We use for blocking and for safe movement of freight. But an empty pallet on the floor can be a tripping hazard. Just as we have a place for tools, we also have a place for supplies. Never walk on skids if you have an alternative. Skids can break and cause ankle injuries. Debris from broken skids usually contain nails, and stepping on this debris can put you at risk for puncture injury and tetanus. Storage trailers can be dumping grounds for all kinds of items. If not organized with defined walkways, the risk is from falling items and a leg injury from tripping. Hazards can be found in the office as well. In this example, a tripping hazard exists from an area rug. In this example, we have a load bar left at the door and a loose carton of freight on top of the skid about ready to fall down, both risks that can cause injury. To eliminate the risk, we must take action to safeguard ourselves and others who will be working in the area. Most of our terminals have racks that we use to store freight. Improperly staged freight can result in an injury. In this case, the broken pallet has a sharp piece of wood sticking out right at eye level. Walk too close to this skid and you can experience a serious eye injury. While we have spent the past few minutes looking at hazards inside the workplace, there are also many hazards outside. Watch your feet, look where you're walking, and avoid the risk of injury. Recognizing risk is only part of the solution. We must take action to correct the problem. Stop, think, act. To keep a safe work area requires a team effort. Think about your fellow employees. They may not recognize a hazard, and if we fail to correct, another person could be injured. Pick up and remove the rock on the walkway. Pick up and discard the board with the nail in it. Straighten out the rug to eliminate the tripping hazard. Remember, the keys to recognizing risk are: number 1, recognize the hazard. Number 2, take action to eliminate the hazard. 3, if unable to eliminate, communicate the problem. And 4, find a solution. Here is a clean dock, free of hazards. Work to keep it that way. Using faulty equipment causes a significant number of injuries in the trucking industry every year. We use all kinds of equipment with moving parts in the course of our day, from trailer doors to hand trucks, pallet jacks, and forklifts, to name a few. Anything with a moving part requires maintenance from time to time. Be sure to inspect the equipment before you use it. If it's broken, report to your supervisor and red tag the item for maintenance. Do not use defective equipment. Stop, think, act. Recognize this risk and eliminate it by red tagging the item and exchanging for working equipment. Handling and moving freight is what we do. Learn to recognize the risk of hard to handle freight. 99% of the time it can be done safely, but it may require us to stop and think of a solution and act to make it happen. Watch for sharp edges and never handle freight using the bands, as you can get seriously injured doing this. And make sure to block in properly. Don't leave a mess for the next guy. Risk and hazards come in many forms. Human behavior and poor work habits can result in injuries. Newer employees may not be as experienced, and in some cases, we just may ignore safety work procedures in order to get the job done. Remember, safety is a team sport. Look out for your team by helping another employee out to learn a safer way to work. If you see someone lifting wrong, or they may not realize a hazard is close by them, stop, act. Show your fellow team member a better way. Point out the hazards. Handling freight safely is a highly skilled activity. Share your knowledge. Forklifts are a valuable tool, but used incorrectly, serious injury and even death can result. If you see a forklift operator using or driving the lift and not following safety procedures, stop them and act. Point out the correct way to operate a lift. In this case, keep your feet inside the roll cage and make sure to always buckle up. Personal protective equipment such as gloves are essential to keeping you safe when handling freight. If you see someone handling freight and they're not wearing gloves, point it out, recognize the danger, and act to correct. 3 points of contact are important for keeping your balance when entering and exiting a vehicle. Severe head trauma and death has resulted from falling face down when exiting a truck without 3 points of contact. If you see someone exit not using 3 points of contact, stop them and ask them to use 3 points of contact. Look out for your fellow team members. Having a safe work environment requires the entire team to work together safely. Stop, think, act to keep everyone healthy and injury-free. Recognizing risk is important when we're driving too. When it snows or rains, risk is elevated for a crash if we don't take action to address the risk. Slow down and increase your following distance. Get the big picture and leave yourself an out so you can avoid a preventable crash. Cell phones are a distraction and take away from your hazard awareness. Never use a cell phone while driving a vehicle or walking in a high traffic area. Distractions prevent you from recognizing hazards. Let's practice what we learned in a few examples. Take a look at this picture. Take a few minutes and ask yourself, what is the hazard here and what course of action do I need to take? You answered that the loading bars were not properly stored and should take action immediately to prevent someone else from getting injured. You are correct. Remember, safety is a team sport. Act to save someone from getting injured. Let's try another. Look at this example. You're going to load this trailer. What would you do? The trailer door is clearly broken and unusable. The missing rollers can make this a hazardous situation. The correct action in this case is to immediately notify your supervisor, as this door will require a trip to the shop to fix. In situations where a hazard cannot be corrected right away, a safety concern report should be completed. Ask your supervisor or terminal manager for a blank report. The completed report should be entered into the safety concern log. This provides a record of items to be corrected. Hazards exist at work, out on the street, and at home. Practice recognizing risk in all your activities. Stop, think, and act to eliminate hazards to ensure a safe and healthy day.